Good morning to you, Uncle Dave. Hope everything is tip-top shape or topsy-turvy or something over on the hill. Anyway, you ready to go for a walkabout? WA4LLR, WD4OUM.
WD4OUM, WA4LLR. Well, I don't know how much walking about. I've been doing short trips, but about all the ones I've been doing been back and forth to the bathroom. Anyway, good morning to you boys. I'm fleet power, probably 35 watts, something like that. Good morning to you, Dave. K4YBC, WA4LR.
Okay, Dave, WA4LLR, K4YBC. Well, good morning to you, sir. Good to hear you, and hope you're feeling decent this morning. I know you're sore, and I know you're hurting, but you'll get over that here in a few days, hopefully. I'm sure you'll have to do some rehab and all that good stuff, but that's great. It's good to hear you, my friend. We've been thinking about you, put you in the prayers, and just pray the Lord and good Lord will take care of you. I guess it's chilly up there on the mountain. It's 57 down here, and looks like I told Terry, it looks like the suns are coming across Rick's Mountain over here, so everything's looking good. Go ahead, Terry. WD4OUM, K4YBC.
And 4LQ.
WD4OUM. Well, good morning, Steve Reno. Plug you in, let me see. I screwed the pooch out a while ago, but anyway, put you in right after Cuz. Kind of get it straightened back out. Who knows? Anyway. Yep, as you mentioned, all these old coots and everything, you know, years ago I used to make fun of these old coots, and now I is one. Boy, if that ain't a joke. But, oh well. Yep, it looks like it's going to be another beautiful day in the neighborhood, so that's a good thing. And, Uncle Dave, I hope they done surgery on the right hip and everything, you know. I kind of worried about that, whether they, you know, operate on the right hip or maybe work on your shoulder or do a little brain surgery or something. I ain't had too good luck with them doctors myself, but anyway, WA4LLR, WD4OUM.
WD4OUM. And the group, good morning, Steve. WA4LLR. Well, when I was in pre-op, the doctor came in and wrote his initials on that hip. So he got the right one, the best I can tell. Hopefully everything's taken care of once I get through the PTs and the PAIN. Oh, Lordy. Anyway, I can tell you that anterior surgery is a lot better. The posterior, or whatever they call it. At least you don't die when you sit down on the can. 53 degrees, a bit of fog up here. I guess I give it today. I'm assuming Terry found to screw it up. Let me know. K4YBC, WA4LLR.
Okay, Dave, WA4LLR, K4YBC, real fine. Yeah, I know when I had my knee replacements, they came in and he asked me a dozen times, now which knee are we going to do? And I'd say, well, left one. He said, you're sure now? I said, well, yeah, I'm for sure. And then he got his little marker down. he put a bullseye-like thing on it, and I think he was pretty straight about it. But anyway, he got the right one, that's for sure. And they work. They hurt a lot, but they work. So there you go. Good morning to you, Steve. You're sounding bodacious as usual. And how's everything down in Shelbytown? N4LQ, K4YBC.
G. Okay. Yeah, K4YBC, N4LQ. Somebody else joined, I think. I heard something. Anyway, good morning, Dave. I've been wondering about you the last couple of days. Guess you didn't feel like getting on, but certainly is good to hear your flea power voice again. Yeah, you're not real strong, but at least we can copy you. And I assume you're on the AF68 PMR8, perhaps? Is that correct? And anyway, yeah, I got back from my walk, and it was almost dark when I got back to the driveway, and got about 30 feet down the driveway, and right in front of me was a big old copperhead. Man, I tell you, those things are out in force. So I tiptoed around it, went down and got my shovel, and came back, and he had moved a little bit. I had my flashlight. I put my flashlight on my head, my headlamp, and I whacked him really good with the shovel, but he managed to get away. So I don't know what happened to him. I got him with the edge of the shovel. So he probably got a bad headache this morning. So I went out there a while ago, and I didn't see any sign of anything, so I guess he got away. I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen so many snakes. WD4OUM, N4LQ, good morning, Terry.
It goes to Brandon, and then to Chadwick. None of these other stringers don't pop in, go it back across the hill.
NKL.
Hello, Cliff, and everybody else. Good to hear you, Dave. 54 degrees, and it's so foggy I can't see the creek from the house. Not even sure what the weather report is for today. Doesn't really matter. Good to hear you back on the air, Dave. And LMAX sounding fine over here in Bakersville. Steve, glad you didn't get bit. My wife's grandfather, whose father and his father grew up on Cane Creek, they changed the name of the right-hand fork of Cane Creek to Staggerweed for whatever reason. I still haven't laid eyes on Staggerweed, but it does exist. But he said that there are no poisonous snakes on the right-hand fork of Staggerweed, but they are on the left-hand fork. And so far that has been true. I should probably pay more attention when I'm out in the wild, but I don't. But I've yet to see one. Plenty of garter snakes and 5 and 6 foot black snakes, which we've already had an encounter with 2 of those this year. Nothing poisonous. KN4RCL. And then the Cliff, and then I guess back to Terry. W4GZ.
Well, I still going up the hill, and we'll go that way. Good morning. Got 57 degrees this morning, and it looks like a ocean down below. The fog is making everything look like islands up here. So it's a beautiful time of the year for the cold weather sets in up here. And that's a good deal on the snake. I wish you would have got him. I tell you the truth, Steve, you probably ought to invest in some shot shells or some, they make a specific type of ammunition. It's like a 12 gauge or 12 shot, fine shot, you know, for a shotgun. So that's what I use. Or I just went to Walmart and bought me some bird shot, and it works just fine. Had a rough time sleeping last night. I still got I think Chris cold or COVID or something over, and it was a long night, just to say the least, tossing and turning and every which way, you know. I got a little bit of sleep, but I guess sweating this old cold and COVID out of me, you know. So got me some Tylenol and some Claritin D yesterday, so I'm trying to doctor it the best I know how, and some cough drops and other stuff. So that was the Claritin and everything. It was $30 and the other stuff $45. So it ain't cheap being sick. KM4RCL throwing it back over the hill to cliff.
Let's see, let me adjust the frequency here a little bit. KN4RCL, WB4NKL. Okay, Chad, yeah, some of that stuff you just have to wire out, seems like. And I'm stayed pretty clear. I didn't stuff up overnight, so I guess I'm on the mend. They said I heard Dave was in here. That's great. Good. I don't know. Steve was talking about the snake when the receiver warmed up. That's sort of the way it is around here, Brian. I have never seen a poisonous snake, and they say it's on this side of the river. Of course, go not too far over here and cross the river, you're at the foot of the mountain. So, seen a lot of rattlesnakes, copperheads, and everything else over there. But so far, 60-some years, never seen a poisonous snake around here. They make, I used to carry Mountains a 38 revolver, and I had shotted shells, and well, it really worked on a snake. I think some people even use the 22 shotted shells, but this was, they're pretty good little, I don't know what the diameter was, there's several little shot in them, but had a little blue cap on the end of the shell. Snakes don't like being shot full of holes, don't seem like. So I'll send it on around. Good morning to everybody. Go ahead, Terry. WD4OUM. It's WB4NKL.
WD4OUM. Anybody else out there lurking around?
KF4DRN.
Good morning, Greg. Go ahead and make one and throw it back up this way.
Okay, good morning, everybody. KF4DRN. I hope everyone's doing okay this morning. Sounding good. Most everybody's sounding good on my end. Must have some pretty good conditions. I'm only running 25 watts, but anyway, I think my
transceiver puts too much power into the amp, and I'm going to have to attenuate that a little bit. Anyway, I'll get that done before too long, couple of weeks, I guess, maybe. But, I'll get me something different to work with there. I was getting distortion on the amp. Anyway, go ahead, Terry, KF4DR.
WD4OUM. Well, I've always been able to turn them rice boxes down on power. Don't know what your problem is, but anyway, and if that don't work, what these other fellers have been doing, been getting a dummy load, putting a T on it, and going that way. So something to think about anyway. And Steve, I thought you was a smarter fella than that. You don't go out prowling around when you can't see nothing. So, oh well. Anyway. And I tell you fellas a little secret that you may or may not know. Copperheads normally travel in pairs. You got a light colored one and a dark colored one. And but anyway, it's a good thing you didn't get nailed. That's all I can say. You might need to stick to working on radios or something. And yeah, Cliff, them shot shells, they make about everything in shot shells, and that's what people use them for. So there you go. Anyway, WA4LLR, WD4OUM.
WD4OUM. Andrew, WA4LLR. Well, good morning, Brandon, Chad, Cliff, and Greg. Greg, we're about both straight up, about 30, 35 watts, I guess. And Steve, I'm sorry, much of my we worked on that thing and finally gave it up. My sweet granddaughter moved a bunch of stuff around, got the TS2000 going. But I apologize for the sleep power. I apologize to anybody that can't hear me. Chad, sorry to hear you're under the weather, buddy. Cliff, glad you're feeling better. Was it COVID or what? Somebody said you had COVID, but that may have been a false report. And Brandon on the snakes, Cane Branch is kind of like that. About a quarter of a mile up the road from me, going south, there's been rattlesnakes. I've never heard of copperhead on Cane Branch, but there's been rattlesnakes found. But for a quarter mile further down, never been one. From here all the way down to the branch, you get to 19, nobody's ever found poison snakes. That's just weird. Oh, yeah, it's good to be back on. I listened a little bit to the mullet net last night, and this is Billy calling, and I'd figure I had enough power to even check in. And I dozed off or something, and when I woke back up, Cliff and Larry and Chad were signing off, so I didn't say that. But sure it's good to be back in here this morning. I hope you can hear me. K4YBC, WA4LLR.
WK4.
Okay, good morning, W4LLR, K4YBC, real fine, Dave. Yeah, I hear you just fine, Dave. No problem. You're down somewhat, but well, that's to be expected. But yeah, copying you real good. And Steve, sounds like you had a good experience with the snake. Some years ago, I had a huge oak tree here in my yard cut down, and I never did have the stump removed. It was over right in my chain link fence, so the only way I could get somebody with stump removal was I'd have to take down the fence and all that good stuff, and I just hadn't done it, so I went up to Lowe's, and they sell some liquid powdered stuff that what you do, you drill holes down inside the stump and pour that stuff in there, and then you pour hot water in it, and it's supposed to help destroy those stumps. Well, I was drilling holes the other day, and all of a sudden, I jumped back through the drill down, a big old snake come out of that stump. But he didn't last long. I just happened to have a shovel handy, and I took care of him. Well, scared the fool out of me. I said, I gave that drill a swing and jumped back, and he was up inside the stump had started rotting, and then the outside of it was pretty soft. I don't know how he got in there, but he was in there. But he's dead now, so got rid of him. And I'll tell you what, me and snakes just don't get along at all. Oh well, N4LQ to take it, K4YBC.
Okay, good morning, N4LQ, and good morning to Rick, and W4KR, WK4R. I guess you come after Greg, DRM. So, yeah, I'm on the DX60 this morning, and my son-in-law has a pistol that he says is good for snakes. It's called the Judge, and it shoots a shotgun shell from a pistol. I'm not sure what gauge, 410 or something, but I don't know. I can't carry a shotgun around everywhere I go, so forget that. And the trouble with these snakes is, if you see them and you go out and get something to kill them with, and come back, they're gone, you know. And Dave, I was trying to picture that, drilling a hole in the stump. You put powder in it, pour water in it, and a snake comes out. That sounds like magic to me. It must have been something in the powder. Powdered snake, I guess. I've got a pair of gators, they're called. Back when we first moved in here, we let the dogs out, and they went after a copperhead, and they both got bit in the face. Man, they swelled up, and we took them to the vet and all that stuff, and the vet said, well, they'll probably be okay, you know, give them some Benadryl. So they survived, but so I started wearing those gaiters when I went out in the woods. They kind of had a snap around your ankle, come up about a foot, you know, real stiff canvas. I guess those might protect your ankles, but that's about it. But that's interesting, Terry, about the snakes traveling in pairs, so I will keep that in mind. And I thought about that when I whacked that one. I looked around just to be sure it didn't have a partner, but I didn't see anything. But I think what they're doing, they're getting out on the blacktop to soak up some of that warm heat off the blacktop, and they'll just lay there. And if I'd taken 3 more steps, he would have nailed me. Fortunately, I was kind of looking out, so Anyway, let's see. Go ahead, Brandon. W4GUZ, N4LQ.
K4JAL.
Good morning, Jimmy. Thought you was on the road to the beach. I guess that was just a picture of what's to come. You'll come after Greg and then give it back to Terry, I guess. Seems like my grandpa said that snakes, copperheads in particular, not any other breed, but they travel in pairs. I know the Nolichucky Gorge is full of them. And in April, when we used to go down there religiously every year, they were usually little bitty and exactly the same color as the ballast. And then we've seen one humongous rattlesnake that was ended up being stoned to death and then cooked over an open fire, and then its skin was wore about 2 months later as a belt, and this guy's wedding. I did not partake in the snake. I was actually on my way out of the gorge. I had to leave a day early, but it was a dandy. I can't remember how many rattlers it had, but they were all out. We call it the Bath Rock. It was right there at the Caney Bottoms Cliff Rock Garden, but they were all out there, and it swam right by them with its head sticking up like a cobra. I really didn't know that they enjoyed swimming, but it didn't make it. Dave, the TS2000 sounds good. And let's see what else. I'm still waking up. Went over to Mike Hobson's cliff. He wanted the PL tone. We started texting back and forth about the repeater, and I sent him a picture, and he said come see me, and I figured he meant come see me in Tennessee, but no, it was Red Hill. Boy, he's got a nice place up there, that cabin he's built right up on top of the ridge on his property, and it's not that high. It's less than 3,000 feet, but you can see forever and ever and ever. And I could not fit another 5-gallon bucket of good old Virginia coal in the back of my pickup truck, so I'm a happy camper. I told him I never thought I'd be so happy to get a lump of coal, but he made my day. And he picked it up, he said, about probably 12 or 13 years ago, and you can definitely smell the sulfur in it. We had a good little chat. He's got some pretty neat memorabilia up in his beautiful cabin. If he can just get Nancy to move over here now. He was flying solo last night, but I think she was having to take care of the grandkid. When are you leaving, Jimmy? Looks like you got that big, long antenna that's going to get knocked off the second you leave your driveway, stuck up on the roof of your truck. And I'd say it looks like a sea of clouds up there, Chad. I'm assuming the sun's shining with the fog below. KN4RCL W4GUZ.
I believe I heard Rick in there too after Jimmy. So hopefully we can turn it to Greg and after Cliff, and turn it back over to Jimmy, and turn it back to Rick, and he can send it back over the hill to Terry. How's that sound? Good to hear about them snakes, and I'm glad they wasn't on my place. I always carry some shot, and I've got it in several different calibers. 9mm, 40 S&W, which stands for short and weak, and I got 10mm. That 10, and I always wanted to find one. I'm thinking that 10mm will work on a snake, but I bought it whenever the spruce pine had a gun store or shop right there on Upper Street. So he had plenty of shot shell for a 10mm. That's the only time I've ever found 10mm shot shell. So I'm gonna put it up and use the 40 then. KM4 RCL going that way back to the cliff over the mountain.
KM4 RCL, WB4 NKL. Okay, Chad. I've seen the sun rise from Mount Mitchell. That's a different look. See it coming up out. It looks like it's coming up out of a lake. Looks like it's coming from right down below, which I guess it is from that angle. But it's I always remember that view, and I think I got some pictures somewhere of it. And Dave, yeah, I had the COVID. I guess I brought it back from Pennsylvania. I had a doctor's appointment Monday, and I had sort of a runny nose, and I told them about it. So they did a COVID test when I went to the doctor, and they said, yeah, you're positive. And that was all he wanted to have to do with me. Sent me home. So I haven't really, that's the only symptoms I've really had. I've been, I guess, a little more tired than normal, but Linda, she come up with it too. She had a couple one rough day and a rough night, and she's pretty well over it too. So, but we both tested positive, and I guess Saturday's our last quarantine day, and then we're supposed to. I think we can get out. We said to wear a mask after that. I don't know about that, but like I say, I've been fine about the whole time. Brandon, I seen that picture of the coal. I wonder if Mike picked that up at a derailment or something. Where he got that coal? But it looks like that's got enough to keep you going there for a while. Or maybe it was up there on his property already. I need to go over and check out Mike's place. He'd sent me a text. He wanted to bring a couple radios over to get backup batteries put in them. I guess that was yesterday, and I told him to hold off there, because of the COVID. So I guess he's heading this way probably next week. But I need to check out his place. I guess those snakes are a little territorial. Like I say, I've never seen a poisonous snake here. Old timers used to say they wouldn't go where black snakes were at, but I don't know. Don't know about that. I've seen black snakes in the mountains. Maybe the black snakes don't care. Maybe it's the copperheads that won't mix with the black snakes. I don't know. But I've never seen one here. And Dad, I don't think Dad had ever seen one in this area. But he liked to go after the rattlers. He did a lot of hiking too over at Clark's Creek and around, and he had a whole drawer full of rattlers off of rattlesnakes. He dispatched a bunch of them over his time. But you can get around anywhere on the railroad track, seems like. Over there in the gorge or anywhere, if there's a pile of ties and you want to find some snakes, you start shifting those ties around, and you'll probably run out a few. So, Greg, 25 watts is doing good. No problem copying you there. So go ahead, KF4 or DRN, that's WB4NKL. I guess you turn it over to Jimmy and JAL, and then Rick, and then back to Terry. Go ahead, Greg. KF4DRN, WB4NKL.
WB4NKL, KF4DRN. Yeah, good on the snakes. I've caught a few snakes, black snakes. I'm afraid of poisonous snakes. I'm afraid of about all the snakes, really. I just don't like to be surprised by a snake. If I can see them from a distance, I'm okay with it. Biggest rattlesnake I've seen was up in the mountains above Newport, Tennessee. Anyway, English Mountain. I seen a big rattlesnake there one year. Went up to a repeater site with repeater owners, and we was moving some stuff around, and of course that snake was in the road while I was on the way up the mountain. We left it alone. We just kind of parked and waited on it to move on across the road, but it's the biggest one I'd ever seen. Anyway, I guess I'll make this my last one here. Everybody have a good day. Enjoyed getting in here this morning. I think Jimmy's to take it, maybe. If it's not, somebody correct me. KF4DRN.
KF4DRN, K4JAL. Yep, it's me. And then I'll give it to Ricky, and he'll give it to Terry's the way I got it. St. Patrick, ran all the snakes out of Ireland, and he must have been over here in Burnsville, too, because we have no snakes at all, an occasional garter snake. That's all you'll see here. And down on my farm, we don't have any rattlesnakes, lots of copperheads below, on the lower part of the mountain. As you go on up, then it's all rat snakes, or what hillbillies call racers, black racers. But I think it's geological. I think there's something in the soil that dictates what kind of snakes like to be there. That's just an old wives' tale by Jimmy. But anyway, it's good to hear you back, Dave. Glad you got through all that okay. Yeah, I take that antenna off, Brandon, if I'm going to roll. That's just up there for when I ain't got anything else to do down there. I'm going to play with my malachite at the beach and see if I can hear you guys. We'll see how that works out. I'm supposed to meet Chuck Anderson over here in Burnsville this morning. He's got to go to Asheville, so he'll come by and maybe I can get him to clean up the hideout. Boy, it sure needs a neat freak like Chuck. That's about what I got. KN4R, over to you. K4JAL.
KO4SSY.
All right, WK4R. Good morning, everybody. Brother Dave, I'm curious whether I know you are, but whether you're under the influence this morning or not. I figure just coming out of surgery that you probably still popping one or two, but then again, you may have a pretty high tolerance for pain. So anyway, and Steve, I'm familiar with the judge. 410s is correct, and a 45 caliber will do either one, I think. But it still holds a relatively tight pattern. But anyway, let's shoot real far away. I had changed the computer in the ham radio room. It's a little bigger than the other one, so I'm still trying to get it to fit in the floor the way I want it to. And the repeat rate on the keyboard was nowhere near what it should be. And anyway, I finally remembered this morning, keyboard, brought up the settings, changed repeat rate, and all is well again. Terry, WD4UM, WK4.
Give it to your old buddy, Billy Bob.
Nah, he's a punk. Oh, darn. I'm ringing already. I guess I'll get it directly. Well, good morning, all. Running a little bit behind. Darn, I don't even know frequency or not the way
WD4OUM. I wish you'd get rid of all that junk, get you a radio that halfway worked or something. But oh well. Good morning, Rick, Jimmy, and Billy Bob. Anyway, well, I figured the sun would be out, but it ain't. It must be kind of cloudy out there or something. Oh well. Anyway. WA4LLR, WD4OUM.
WD4OUM. Andrew, WA4LLR. Well, good morning, Rick. Good morning, Billy, if you can hear me. On the police power. Rick, no, I'm not under the influence. My wife won't let me have no good drugs. Oh, Lordy. The only thing, what's this? The only thing they gave me when I left the hospital was tramadol, because we discovered that what gave me panic attacks after surgery historically has been codeine, hydrocodone, oxycodone, that sort of thing. So we stayed away from that this time, and no panic attacks, praise God. Let's see here. Yep, the only snakes we've ever had up here around the house is black snakes and a garter snake occasionally. But I'm happy about that. I usually carry shot shells mixed in my other loads in the 38, so we're ready for them. And I usually have snake loads from 22 as well. The fog's lifting, and boy, it's coming up out of the valley. It's getting thick up here. But it'll clear off here in a few minutes. Brian, I'm glad you got some coal to keep that boiler going. That's good. Yeah, I've not talked to Mike in a while. Of course, I've not been on 2 meters much. I need to rectify that situation, I guess. But, doing pretty good. I've still got a lot of pain when I walk, but that's to be expected. Got physical therapy coming again at 10 o'clock this morning. So, looking forward to that with great anticipation. K4YBC, WA4LLR.
WA4LLR, K4YBC. Okay, Dave. Yeah, I know you really can't wait for that rehab. I swear, them people key. Bend it this way, bend it that way. It's killing me, you know. But you'll get through it, I'm sure. And I guess the rehab is necessary. I remember when I was having rehab on my knees, on that one knee. I got it down. She said that I could straighten it out 98%. That's as far as I could get on it. And then on the next knee, I only got it up to 90%. She says, "You're only up to 90." I said, "Well, I'm not going to be bending and stretching all that much nohow, so forget it. I'll live with the 90%. So there you go. And I used to use them shot shells. I had a little 22 rifle, but the only problem I had with those shot shells was when you shoot one, they wouldn't eject because they kind of swelled a little bit, and you had to get in there with a small screwdriver or something to get the empty cartridge out. So I didn't use them all that much because it was kind of aggravating to get the empty spent shell out of there. But they do work, and they do a number on snakes, that's for sure. And yeah, Steve, I was drilling holes in that stump, pouring that stuff in, the snake come out. So anyway, I got him good, so that's one less snake around here, hopefully. And Steve, the DX60 sounds absolutely wonderful. That is a great sounding little radio, for sure. N4LQ, take it, K4YBC.
Yeah, okay. Let me adjust this. Yeah. Anyway, N4LQ, and well, I'm glad you like the sound of it, and I hope it's real. But it looks okay on the scope, I guess. One thing that I'm kind of afraid of is shooting a snake on the pavement like that. I'm afraid it might ricochet off and hit me. So I don't know. I'm not a very good shot anymore. I used to be pretty good, but some reason I've lost my touch. I doubt if I could hit a snake with a bullet. Maybe a shotgun from a distance. But I don't know. Trying to shoot it, I've got a .22 pistol, and a snake's not a very big target, so he'd probably run away, and I'd probably shoot myself because they'd ricochet off the rocks or the pavement or something. That's what I was concerned about. Cliff, you're sounding better. Sound like you're back to normal. It's kind of funny. I was just looking here on QTH. Somebody has a very nice Hammerlin HQ170 for sale. It got all the specifications, and it says from a non-smoking and COVID-free environment. Can you imagine buying an HQ170 and it has COVID and catching it? Boy, I don't know. What do you think of that? Over to you, Brandon, W4GUZ, N4LQ.
N4LQ, W4GUZ. I seen that ad. I'll give you. I don't know if it's as good or not, but I had to order a cheap jack for the tongue of this old trailer I'm mounting this engine and bowler on. Ordered it from Amazon at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and it came the next day. And I opened it up, and some unidentified bug flew out of the box. I'm a little suspicious. I'm thinking that this package probably came from, for those that's familiar, either PRC on Altapass, who deals solely with Amazon, or Amazon's big warehouse in Charlotte. My father-in-law was standing there, and he says, "That's how we get all this stuff from China." That's one tough bug if it made it all the way from China, but I have no idea what it was. It was pretty good sized, and I just seen it for a split second and then released it. So hopefully it wasn't a disease-carrying critter. Speaking of bugs being released, I think Amy's up to 17 monarchs that she has. Well, one was from an egg, a larva, caterpillar, the whole 9 yards into a chrysalis. She's had a couple die. She's had to move her terrarium operation to the inside, but success rate is, in this area anyway, is much higher than and letting Mother Nature take its course. Between aphids and birds and such, the caterpillars don't seem to make it to chrysalis too often in this area, but she's got 2 that she'll have to release today. Been spreading her wings now and getting a little rambunctious, so hopefully it'll warm up. It's supposed to be up above 68 degrees, I think, 65, 68. So they can get loose enough to fly on their own. So that's amazing to watch all that happen, the cycle of life. And I've got, speaking of shell shot or rat shot, of course, a 22. I've got a 22 revolver that I usually, if I'm hiking, the first 2 shots are warning shots with rat shot in it, and then it gets real after that. Usually a 38 revolver is what I carry into the gorge, and the first shot is a shell shot, and then it's hollow points after that. And I've got some 45. Of course, it doesn't. I'll put it in the pipe, but it will not cycle the gun. So you pull the trigger and then have to cycle it yourself to eject it. Probably not the best on the rifling in a Colt 45, so I try not to do that too often with that gun. Yeah, the DX60 and the DX100, I doubt that anybody could tell the difference between the two as far as audio. They both sound good. Sound just like it's do in person. Uncle Dave, fixing to get off here in a few, and we'll spend some more money with your son at Burleson's. And hopefully have the steam engine plumbed in. I've got to find some bracket. I've got the intake and exhaust that's going to be running parallel with the boiler, both half-inch pipe. And I can manufacture some type of bracket, but I'd like to find something over the counter that would stand the heat. But I need to tie one pipe is going to be firmly secured in place, but the exhaust going back up to the stack, I have no way of attaching it to the boiler, and I don't want to start welding on the side of the boiler. But I need to find some type of pipe clamp for a half-inch pipe, so I can attach the stationary one to the other one to hold it stationary. So I'm not sure if they make such a thing, but I'm sure if they do, Burleson's will probably have it. Go ahead, Chad. Good morning, Billy. Good morning, Rick. And Billy, maybe your transmitter's warmed up by the time it gets back down to you. N4RCL and the group W4GUZ.
I try to avoid Burleson's alcohol. They're a bunch of crooks. And that's putting it nicely the way I feel about them. And, Brandon, don't forget, the Amazon has a warehouse in Nashville at the airport, Spartanburg at the airport, and Concord at the airport, aside of the location in Charlotte. So it could have come from one of them places also. I'll turn it back over to Cliff. KM4ICL, go ahead. WB in Canal.
Well, thank you, Chad. KN4RCL, WB4NKL. See where the frequency has gone to. A little bit high. Still hadn't got used to having to look at the frequency counter there. Should be about topped out here though. Keeps on wanting to slide up a little bit. Brandon, I guess you're trying to get all that ready for the festival. I'm gonna try to make it over. I've got written down here 20th and 21st, the Friday and the Saturday. Is that you might pass along if that's correct? I think Mark's wanting to come over, and a lot of people's wanting to check out the steam whistle. So we'll try to make that trip over the mountain. Don't have too much more here. I think I covered everything I had written down anyway. Greg jumped out. Greg, if you're still listening, 73s, and I hope you can get the amp back on the line and figure out what's going on there. Most of it, like Terry was saying, most of those solid state rigs you can reduce the power some, but I'm not familiar with what that Yazoo you're running. I know like my HF rig, you can crank the power about any level you want to drive something with. But it should be able to come up some kind of attenuator too if you need to run the 25 watts out of the rig. I'll send it on around. I guess it goes to Jimmy. Jimmy, looks like I seen the pictures there of the antenna. It looks like a good system. Hopefully you'll be able to hear us from over on the coast. K4JAL, WB4NKL.
WB4NKL, K4JAL. Well, thanks, Cliff. It's pretty slick. You got that variable coil in there, and I got it out there yesterday and put the analyzer on it, and it's between 1.1 and 2 swirl on all the high frequencies that I set it up for. So that's pretty good. Steve, rat shot in the 22 does just fine on the snake. At that distance, you ought to be able to hit it. But if you don't want to take a gun out there and mar your parking lot, get you a 3 to 4 foot stick. It don't have to be very big. A switch will work. You can break a snake's back with very light pressure, and it doesn't matter where you hit it, it's going to kill it. It might take it, it'll flop around a little while, but you know it can't hit you that far away. You can stand out there and rain havoc on it if you want to. I wanted to ask you, I know you've got your malachite talking to your notebook. I wonder how you get about that. I looked at it a little bit, and the Windows 10 does load up the files that are recognize the files that are supposed to be there, but I haven't got a program. I tried to run it with SDR Runo or whatever it is, and I can't get that to work. If you could enlighten me a little bit on that, it'd be good. I'm going to leave out here at 10 o'clock in the morning. If the weather hadn't turned sour down there, we'll just have to wait and see. But hopefully we'll have a good week at the beach. Rick, KM4R, K4JAL.
Okay, WK4R. Tweet there. Terry, you said the sun, but now it's been out here all. Been doing good here today. Lots of it. Brandon, I am curious if there's using coal versus wood, if there's any kind of ratio or one lasts longer. I'm going to assume the coal would last longer, maybe. Is there heat? Might be a heat difference. I don't know. I've never looked at that. Never messed with coal, so that would be interesting to know. And I've got to get out of here. I'm going to listen for a while, but get some supplies for the guys at church that's painting. Got to eat breakfast and some other things, not necessarily in that order, of course, but I'm going to say 73 and get out but I'm going to hang around for a while anyway. KO4 says fly. If you radio talk. WK4.
Hello. I wish they'd get him a radio.
What a pile of junk.
It's a little bit cool this morning. I don't know what's going on. This baby playing out. Sure acting crazy. Anyway.
Sounds like he's in an airliner.
Sounds like he's running sideband.
Later on, see what's up with it.
We're picking on Billy.
Throw in the garbage.
It don't seem right. You can't hear me turn it, take it, WD4, you don't kill 4S, that's
WD4OUM. I'm glad you're leaving. Why don't you jump in your truck and run up here to Burbank, and I'll say you a good radio. Oh, well, anyway. Rick, if you're still listening, I don't know why I'm doing it, but I done it. Got on Facebook there the other day, Marketplace, and there was one of them little B-Link computers for sale. And I just, I don't even know why I threw the offer to that old boy, and son of a gun if he didn't take it. But I pick it up today at 3 o'clock. I'm kind of interested to see what that little old thing will do. It's got more horsepower and everything than anything else I've got here. But like I need another flip-dipping computer, but oh well. It's a little bitty thing, so I'll do something with it. Take it out to the rifle range, use it for a target, nothing else. Anyway. And Jimmy, why would anybody in their right mind, I don't know why I made that little statement there, you know, there ain't nobody on here in their right mind that I know of, but why would anybody go to the beach and sit and listen to a bunch of old coots run off at the mouth when they could be out there walking on the beach watching the sun come up and listening to the waves jingle jangle and all that. It just blows me away. But oh, different strokes for different folks, I reckon. So there you go. Anyway, WA4LLR, WD4OUM.
WD4OUM and the group, WA4LLR. Set through to you, Rick. You guys get squared away there at the church with all the painting and stuff. Set through to Greg. And Bailey, if you're copying me, that last transmission was about 100% unintelligible. So I don't know. Seemed like that rig's been a pain from day one. Let's see. I'm assuming the festival that Cliff was talking about is that the Blacksmith Festival, or what is that coming up? If that's this weekend, I don't guess I'll make it, but anyway, that'd be neat to see that rig you got set up there, Brandon. Chad, hope you get feeling better soon. Let's see what else. Yeah, everybody talking about snakes this morning. I've never been a fan of any flavor of snakes. I take literally that scripture that the Lord spoke to Eve when he said, your seed will bruise the head of the serpent. I do my best to bruise everyone I get a chance to. Let's see what. Yeah, the DX60 does sound good. Of course, all your rigs sound good, Steve. You got the magic touch, I reckon, on the audio on every one of those you fix up. They all sound pretty much the same. They all sound good. Let's see what else is going on. Not a whole lot. I'll hang in here another few minutes because I've not got a lot to do today. Other than sit here in the recliner and wait for the physical therapist. So I appreciate you boys putting up with this weak signal this morning. K4YBC, WA4LO.
WA4LLR, K4YBC. I've drifted up a little bit, but oh well. Real fine, Dave. Man, we're glad to have you back in here. We missed you as always, and hope the rehab goes well, and you'll be walking around here before too long, for sure. I'm going to say 7:30s too, gentlemen. I thank Janie and I had to recaulk some windows here, and Janie's wanting to paint them, do some painting today, so I guess we'll go out there and do a little bit of painting, so as soon as it warms up a little bit. So 7:30s to everybody. Have a great weekend, and good Lord's willing, we'll see you on Monday. N4LQ to take it. K4YBC clear, but I'll listen here for a little bit. Go ahead, Steve. Over.
Okay, K4YBC, N4LQ. Have a great day there, cuz. Good to talk to you again, as always. Let's see, Jimmy on the Malachite. There is a video out there on how to get that set up on YouTube. But don't bother watching it. He suggests using SDR Sharp as the software, and I tried that and it does not work because SDR Sharp totally changed their software to operate with only the what is that? Oh, the AirSpy SDR. So the new version of SDR Sharp won't work with much of anything. If you found the old version of SDR Sharp, it might work if you could find it. And I don't know. I played around with interface, and the device showed up in the device manager, the audio, all the necessary drivers and all that showed up. But somebody just needs to write some software to interface with that receiver, so I wouldn't bother to worry about it. It ain't worth it. It's one of the nice things about the Malachite. It doesn't need a computer. So just plug a pair of nice powered speakers in there at the beach, turn them up real loud so you can listen to us geezers talk and get enough audio so you can drown out the sound of those obnoxious waves and crashing on the beach. I just looked at the weather report, and I think you said you're going to Carolina Beach. It shows today 2.6 inches of rain today, and wind, and tomorrow a little bit of rain. So tomorrow it may be okay. I guess it's moving on north. It looks like gale conditions out there now. not too favorable, but I hope there's something left when you get there. Who was that said you could beat a snake to death with a stick? Don't know about that. I got a walking stick that I carry with me. It's about 5 feet long. But I just didn't really have much confidence in that thing as far as whacking it and trying to break its back. I guess it could be done, but there was a guy that not too long ago tried to kill one with an umbrella, and it went right up the umbrella and bit him in the hand. Just about lost his hand. So I don't know about that. So Brandon, go ahead, W4GUZ N4LQ.
N4LQ W4GUZ. Touching up the tuner. The wire must have stretched or shrunk or something. Rick, to answer your question about coal, I guess I'm fixing to find out, hopefully this afternoon. As far as BTU per pound, I'm sure the coal is much higher. But I want to experiment with it a little this afternoon and see. Tickled to death to find some good coal locally. That's something, just about a thing of the past. I did quite a bit of looking around online and found one place over in Asheville that sold lump coal and coke for blacksmithing, which I definitely don't want. But I'm sure they wanted a pretty penny for it. I'll try to build a fire this evening if I get everything plumbed in. So I think I'm going to make this my last one and get out. And Jimmy, you be safe on the road. Watch out for all the crazies. And I hadn't looked at the weather. Hopefully that's not a tropical system. Oh, tis the season, the hurricane season. I haven't looked at a hurricane map, and what was the last one that skirted up New England? I'm not even sure if it made landfall. I'm sure we'd have heard about it if it disrupted the Yankees' life up there. But I try to stay disconnected with society as much as possible. Cliff, that's the correct dates, the 20th and the 21st. I probably won't be there on the Friday. I know I won't. I'm not going to set up twice, and I ain't going to leave it down there. So Saturday the 21st, and I'll probably have the split window bug down there too, if I can work it out. There's a pretty big car show last year, so you might want to mention that to Tommy. Not as big as Poplar, but it filled the parking lot up there and part of the field beside the fire department. They're going to be making apple butter beard contest. Longest beard, fullest beard, best style beard and mustache. Man, why didn't they have that 2 years ago? I may have came home with the trophy. It reached my belly button standing up straight until I got it caught in a pair of steering pulley. And then it went bye-bye after that. I kind of miss my beard. A lot of work, though. Hat pageant, and this is a new one. The cutest, the best behaved, the coolest trick, the most unique, the best dressed, and the crowd's favorite. I don't think any of my pups would finish first there, so I guess I'll stay at home. Axe throwing, fire starting, using just the bare minimum. Cornbread chili cook-off, all kinds of stuff going on. They've added a lot this year. The axe throwing and fire starting is pretty neat. Most of them are firemen and deputies, and they get pretty serious about that. And last year, I think some foreigner that was just vacating and happened to run across the festival come in and kicked everybody else's butt. So, all kinds of stuff. Hopefully the weather will hold out. Dave, maybe you can make it. You've got a month to recover, almost exactly. So I'll go out here and check my list and check it twice, and then head over to Spruce Pine and start threading some pipe. Yeehaw. This is Friday. Maybe we'll catch some of you this weekend. I've got to work part of the day tomorrow, and then Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. 73 from Hawk, North Carolina, and we'll catch you when we catch you. Yeah, you're still there, Chad. Hope you get to feeling better. CAN4RCL, W4G, UZ 73.
I'm going to say 73s on this one and go hunt me some cough drops or something. And we'll catch you Monday morning then. KM4RCL, go ahead, Cliff.
KN4RCL, it's WB4NKL. Okay, 73. Everybody checking out. I guess I'll do the same. See about walking around the block here. They might need to add snake shooting, snake dispatching to that list of activities. I've got that written down here on the calendar, and I'm going to try to make it. The weather's halfway decent. Tommy's got to have shoulder replacement October the 5th, I think he told me. So I don't know, that's a couple of weeks on out. Maybe he'll feel like getting out by then. Give him something to look forward to. Coal has got a lot more BTUs than wood. I've used both back in the day, and had a little shop down here in downtown Limestone where I worked on radios and stuff before I went to work for the railroad, and it was just an old building, uninsulated building. It's pretty good size. Had an old stove in the middle of it, potbelly stove, and I'd take when I go to work the other day, I had a coal pile at the house, and I'd take a 5-gallon bucket of coal, go down there and build a fire, and it didn't take too long. That whole stove and the stove pipe going out the building was cherry red, and it heated that whole building. That 5-gallon bucket of coal would heat it all day, and I don't think probably a truckload of wood wouldn't have done the same thing. It's a lot of power and coal. So, and Billy, if you're listening, I don't know what's going on with that transmitter. You didn't have any carrier without modulation. And then when you modulate it, it's real distorted, and the carrier jumped up. It's almost like you're running sideband. Looked like a sideband signal, but I've never seen a transmitter act quite like that. But maybe you're in the sideband position. 73s, I'm going to get out here and walk around the block and get the day started. Go ahead, Jimmy. K4JAL, WB4NKL.
WB4NKL, K4JAL. Well, Steve, you must have a whippy umbrella swing to get a man bit by a snake. Anyway, that's the way the old-timers did it. A casting rod is the best thing in the world to kill a snake. It doesn't take much of a snap to break one's back. but if you're scared of it, don't do it. I'm taking headphones and a magnifying glass with a malachite, so I'm sure I'll be all right if I can hear anything. As far as coal's concerned, the real dummies here in Yancey County when I was a boy would burn the grates out of their stove by putting coal in it when it was set up to run wood. Yeah, everything gets cherry red. It's got a lot more BTUs in it than wood or oil or anything else like that. So I've exhausted all my knowledge, so I'm going to give it over to Billy and his highly entertaining transmitter. KO4SSY, K4JAL, 73 clear.
I guess he's gone. Anyway, you fellas have a great weekend. We catch you Monday. And Uncle Dave, I hope you do good. And be nice to the therapist. WA4LLR, WD4OUM from beautiful downtown Burbank, 73s.
WD4OUM, where the surf's up. WA4LLR, well, Brandon, Cliff, you guys are listening. According to the all-knowing internet, a pound of wood has between 8,000 and 9,000 BTUs. A pound of coal has 12,000, so there you go. And Jimmy, I've seen Dad take a switch, kill I don't know how many snakes. You're right about that, just a little quick, flip of the switch across one's back will definitely break its spinal column or back or whatever. And Cliff, glad you're feeling better. Chad, if you're listening, hope you get it out of the kink soon. And thank you for the information about the festival. I might be able to make that month. That's about all I've got from this end, too. So, Steve, I guess you get to tie the ribbons on it, buddy. Well, it's been good this morning. Everybody had a good signal, well, with the exception of Billy. Bless his heart. So, 7-3, God bless. We'll catch up with you next day or so. N4LQ, WA4LLR.
Okay, Dave. Yeah, you have a good day, a good time with that therapist. And I know it's going to be fun. And I'm glad you got the TS2000. I couldn't hear you last time when you described the rig. So, yeah, TS2000. Oh, man. Get well soon so you can get off that rice box. And, Billy, if you're hearing me, good luck on that spark gap transmitter. I think that's what you were running. It sounded like a spark gap. Wasn't any modulation except this scratchy sound. So, we'll say 73s to everybody. This is N4LQ. Good morning.